Hi, I'm Joe Eliseon, and I'm here to read a second excerpt from my latest full-length novel, Snarkey Putts Paranormal Attorneys-At-Law, Volume 4, The Case of the Unchained Immigrant. But before I get to the excerpt, I would like to mention that my latest published work, a collection of short stories entitled Kid Stuff, The Reincarnation of Lou Gehrig and Other Stories, is now available. It's available on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, on Kobo, and the links to it are below. Please take a gander at it. I'll be talking about it more in subsequent videos. But, and I might also mention that the first volume, the introductory volume in the Snarkey Putts series, The Case of the Undead Arbitrator, is now available free. Links to it are below. It's available free so that you can catch up on the origin of Snarkey Putts paranormal practice without spending one thin dime. Okay, let's get to the excerpt, in which we accompany attorney R. Andrew Putts III, Esquire, as he tracks down his client's insurance adjuster, Carl Kolchak, at a local Boston eatery, just in time to dig into an open-faced steak sandwich. First, we hear Mr. Kolchak giving instructions to the waiter. Kolchak took his arm. "Make it special, Frederick. Mr. Putts is an important attorney." Frederick scanned Putts' dimensions. "As you say, Mr. Kolchak." "Thanks, Frederick. You're an absolute gem." Kolchak watched the old man disappear into the kitchen. "He'll find you the best piece of meat in the kitchen, with the marbling just so. He'll slice it not too thick, not too thin. He'll pan fry it, toast the bun in the pan face down in butter." Kolchak gave the tips of his fingers a loud smooch. "Absolute perfection." He stopped with knife and fork poised over his sandwich. "You don't mind?" "No, go ahead," Putts urged. "Eat while it's hot." "A scholar and a gentleman," Kolchak inverted. He chewed another mouthful. "Absolute perfection," he sighed, lifting his eyes to the dark beams of the ceiling. "Look at those beams." He pointed his fork's dripping tines upward. "God knows what trees they came from, how long they grew, who cut them down, who hewed their timber and carried them here, who hoisted them in place and set the roof above them. This building, it's been here 200 years, more. It's part of old Boston. There's not much left." Putts thought of the decline of Zippin' Donuts. Those chocolate honey dips. Snarkey was right. "No," he lamented, "there isn't much left." Kolchak dabbed his napkin at the corners of his mouth. "We've become like every place else. Used to be, every different city and town stood out with its own distinctive taste, its own cuisine. Every meal talked to you, told you a different story about who it was and where it came from. But now, the world's one place. It all tastes the same, like every airport you've ever been in. You can go anywhere. You can go around the whole wide world. But you may as well have stayed home." The ginger-haired man fell quiet for a second. "Sorry," he apologized. "For what?" Putts asked. "For waxing poetic. Glory to God, I sound like an Irishman. You live in this town long enough, it's contagious." Frederick appeared with Putts' hot plate. He slid it in front of Putts. He placed the silverware rolled up in a white linen napkin beside it. Putts' eyes scaled the mountain of beef. He whipped the napkin open with a snap, clattering the silverware onto the bar. He tucked the napkin into his collar, took up his knife and fork, and dove in. Kolchak laughed. A trencherman! Putz came up for air. It's perfect. Kolchak planted one elbow on the bar. His eyes turned misty. Food's not what it used to be. Remember the roast beef at Loch Ober's? Absolute perfection, he recalled. Or the Finnan Haddie at Jimmy's. Or the no-name's heavenly black squid ink pasta drowned in garlic. Or the broiled scrod at Deeney's, the best, the moistest, the flakiest, with the most buttery, most crumbly, most out-of-this-world toasted breadcrumb topping. He clenched both his fists with a passion that twisted his body off the stool. If I could only describe it, but words fail. Absolute perfection? Putz suggested. That's it! Kolchak pounded the bar. He lifted a half-full tankard. A toast, he proclaimed, to meals gone by. Tears streamed over Putz's chubby cheeks. The bartender slipped him a brimming tankard. Putz lifted it and clinked it against Kolchak's, declaring, "May they never be forgotten." The silence of a long pull passed between the two beef-eaters, followed by the rustlings of knife and fork. After several mouthfuls, Kolchak broke the silence. What's the injury? What is the injury to Dr. Arapura's unfortunate patient? When Kolchak finds out, will Putz get to finish his sandwich? Find out when you read Snarkey and Putz, Paranormal Attorneys-At-Law number 4, The Case of the Unchained Immigrant. As I said before, the links to Unchained Immigrant and to Kid Stuff and to the rest of my works are below. Click on them, look around, see if you can find anything you like. And together with links to my other works, you'll find links to my website, to my Amazon author page, etc., etc. You might also consider clicking the like button to this video if you liked it. You might even consider subscribing to my videos. They don't come too often. So, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again real soon.